Hey guys, today we're making coffee cake, a coffee cake with actual coffee in it. And of course, this starts with coffee. I'm choosing a local coffee that describes notes of butterscotch, vanilla, and rum, which all sound great for this application, but you use whatever coffee your heart desires. Just make it a strong brew, measure out a half cup, and set to the side for now. To start our cake batter, we're going to start with 1 stick of softened unsalted butter, a half cup of brown sugar, a half cup of white or cane sugar, in a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. We're going to start creaming these together. A few minutes in, I'm going to stop to scrape the bowl and paddle, and then I'm going to let it go for another few minutes until light and homogeneous in consistency. Now, on a low speed, I'm going to add a half cup of neutral flavored oil, 2 room temperature eggs. I'm going to add one at a time, giving about 30 seconds to a minute before adding the next one. A half cup of sour cream, our half cup of coffee, and a splash of vanilla, about a teaspoon or 2. For our dry ingredients, we're sifting together 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour using the scoop and swipe method, 2 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of salt, 1 to 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom, and an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Add this to our wet ingredients, and by the end of it, this is what your batter should look like. Now for everyone's favorite part of coffee cake, the streusel topping. In a bowl, add 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of white or cane sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and 6 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Just mix this together with your hands until we have a sandy texture that you can clump together when you press it. We're going to pour half of our batter into a greased and parchment-lined bread pan. Smooth it out, and I sadly lost the footage, but layer half of our streusel, then pour the rest of our batter on top. Smooth it out again, and layer the rest of our crumb on top. I'm pinching it a little bit just so I can get some of the bigger crumb pieces that I really love in a streusel topping. Then we're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes to an hour, or until an internal temperature of 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to let this cool just for a little bit before I slice into it. A little under an hour later, and we can cut into our beautiful coffee crumb cake. I can see both of our lovely layers of crumb. Now we can give this a taste, and it is delicious, but it's clearly missing something. I can't believe I almost forgot to have my coffee cake with a cup of coffee. So let's pour ourselves a cup, in my largest mug of course, and try again. This coffee cake is truly delicious, and I'm actually really proud of it. It's not too sweet. It has some complexity of flavor from our coffee and our warm spices. It's moist, has great texture from our streusel, and with coffee, it's really a match made in heaven. If you make this, to quote The Office and to quote my mug, I guarantee you will be satisfied because your satisfaction is my guarantee. I guarantee it. As a dad, I'm allowed to make lame jokes.